Hello and welcome to the Lesbian Lounge podcast. I am your host and resident lesbian big sister, Juliet Taylor, and I'm here to answer all of your dilemmas, share your wildest lesbian dating stories, and just chat all things being a queer woman in 2025. Very nearly said 2024. It's definitely 2025. I mean, it's nearly the end of March. Like, how fast is this year going? It's crazy. Anyway, the Lesbian Lounge is a safe space for the girlies, the gays, and the theys. So grab a drink, get comfy, and welcome in to the Lesbian Lounge. Hey guys, how we doing? I just love chit-chatting with you all. I get so excited to film each week. It makes me so happy. And we're making progress, guys, with the microphone situation and the studio situation. So I actually have some pictures ready to put up behind me in the studio. I just don't trust myself to do it because if they're not quite even, I'll kick myself. So I'm going to wait for somebody who's better at putting things up to do. I might have to get my granddad to come round and put them up, even though I don't know if he would like what they say. One says the Lesbian Lounge, one says girls, girls, girls. One says sounds gay, I'm in, and one says it's pretty queer in here, so I don't know if my granddad might have a heart attack. So maybe we'll ask Taylor, my girlfriend, to do it. That might be a safer option. I don't know what my granddad thinks about Taylor. I think I told you all before, but she's been with us for the past 3 Christmases, I think, maybe 4. She comes round all the time, I always talk about her, so he either thinks she's some homeless friend, or we're just really good friends, or he knows we're dating and just has never brought it up, but we just keep it on the down low because we don't want to give him a heart attack. What was the point of me saying that? Yeah, so microphone as well. I've just been on the phone to Sony, basically being like, hey, I bought this microphone, paid lots of money for it, and it doesn't work. And then she sent me this thing of saying so the microphone I have isn't fully compatible with the Sony camera I have. And I'm like, that was not made clear because I did my research on TikTok and YouTube and everyone was like, it's wireless. But basically, if I want to have that microphone with this camera, I need to connect a wire from my camera to the microphone. So there's going to be a big wire connecting you guys to me. So I've just ordered one. So by next week's episode, everyone say a little prayer, touch some wood. That is all going to work because I'm fed up of it not working. I was trying to see if there's any buttons I needed to press to connect it, but no, it's not compatible. So if you have the Sony ZV-1F camera, the Sony, let me see if I get this right, ECM-W3S microphone is not compatible unless you have a wire. You would think it would just come with a wire anyway, wouldn't you? But fingers crossed, guys, by next week's episode, the audio issues will be gone. I was listening back to some old episodes the other day, not fully because they give me the ick, they cringe me out, but there was a girl on TikTok who found my page in the podcast and was like, oh my god, I'm going to start listening. I've been looking for a new lesbian podcast. And then she came back to me and was like, hey girl, I'm on episode 22 and I'm loving it. And I was like, I'm just going to go click on episode 22 and see what she's in for. And oh my god, I cringed so bad. Because the audio, we have been on a journey. The microphone I was using before, the Sony one, it was good, but it sounded I don't know, it sounded like I was echoing. I can't quite work it out. I'm no audio expert, so maybe I do need to get some help in that field. But fingers crossed this Sony mic will sort itself out. Also, my mum told me off for swinging on the chair all of last week's episode, but it's just so cute, isn't it? And what do you all think of the outfit today? I'm dressed a bit business chic, I don't know. I went to TK Maxx yesterday and saw this shirt and thought, oh, it's so cute. So I paired it with my little blue light glasses because I thought it just makes me look a bit cooler. That is the main sort of podcast update. So better audio incoming. I know I've said that for so long, but I promise it's coming. So I appreciate you all for sticking around because honestly, when I click on episode 22 and listen, even just the old intro I used to do, everything, I'm like, oh my god, it makes me want to curl up in a ball. And I'm the fact that you guys listen to it, enjoy it, and continue listening, I'm so grateful that you guys have stuck around with me for this long, and I hope you continue to stick around. I think this will be, is this episode 40? Let me see, I think it might be, or is it episode 30? Let's look. Podcasts, the Lesbian Lounge. It's episode 39. Okay, so next week, so by episode 40, we should finally have good audio. It's only taken us 40 episodes to get the audio sorted. That's insane. But yeah, I honestly appreciate you all so much for sticking around, and every comment, every review, every message, it genuinely means so much to me that people enjoy listening to this podcast. Like it blows my mind that people actually listen week after week. Like they've listened to episode, I don't know, 17 and gone, oh yeah, that was quite good, I'm going to keep listening, and they're still listening now by episode 39. Like, it's crazy. And I was having this thought the other day, like, especially when I was going through the name change, I was like, do I just delete like all the previous episodes because they're all shit? And I was like, well, they're clearly not shit, because otherwise we wouldn't have got to where we are now. And I think it's important to look back and see how much you've grown, and, you know, see how far you've come on. So like, it's nice to have them to look back on, but I don't know if I can like sit and listen back to them. But yeah, we have been on a journey, and there is still such a journey to go on with this podcast. There's, you know, so many big things coming. I do have some really cool guests lined up, but I'm kind of saving the guests and the episodes for when I'm away later in the year, so that there's episodes for you guys. So I promise there's some cool guests coming, but for now, it's just little old me in my studio, hopefully with some, well, there are pictures, hopefully with some command strips up soon to put the pictures up. Did I tell you all about how cool my studio is, guys? So it's on like, it's really weird. It's on like a dog kennel site. So it's like literally the building next to mine is like dog kennels. And I always feel really bad when you come in because you can hear them barking, but like they are very well looked after. And then there's, I think, 6 other people in my unit, but I don't think I've actually physically seen another person. I've just seen a car outside. Like, they all have covers on their door, so you can't see if there's anyone in there, but you can normally tell by if the light's on. So there's one, I know it's a man in the first unit. He doesn't have anything covering his window, so you can always see him. Never seen him in there. Like, everything is exactly where it was when I first came in. Then there's 2 more. Then there's us, and then there's 2 more. And I had genuinely, I've seen the light on in one of them and seen a car outside for one of them. So most of the time it is just me here, which is quite nice. But sometimes, like when it's really windy outside, like there's a door that like sort of flaps open, so it sounds like someone's coming in. And I'm like, one day I'm just going to be sitting here and someone's, because if you walked up to my door right now, you could see me, and someone's just going to be like, who on earth are you talking to? And I'm just like chatting to my besties, do you know what I mean? Like they'll be all like, not you guys, they'll be like, what are you doing? But you guys, you get it, you understand, you're part of the fam, part of the lounge lizards. If you know, you know. I still haven't come up with like a good name for you all. But yeah, what I was saying about the unit, it's really, really close to one of, to a dairy farm, which basically has like one of them milk vending machines. So I treat myself after episodes to go and get like a chocolate milkshake, and oh my god, they're so good. Because obviously it's like really good fresh milk. And then there's a pizza restaurant like 2 more minutes down the road from the milk farm that does some of the best pizzas ever. I've only been once since I've had the unit, but I'm definitely planning, I think because I film like midday on a Tuesday, I'm like, it's not really pizza time, but I definitely need to start coming more because it is unreal pizza. So it's in a good little spot, even though it is down like a country lane to get here. And there's often like horses, so you've got to slow down. And if you're going up and there's another car coming down, you can't both fit, so you've got to pull in, or they've got to pull in. So my car is definitely getting mucky, but I've just loved it since I've got it. It's just nice to have like a little a home for the podcast. And yeah, once we've got the audio sorted and the pictures up, it's just we're going to be unstoppable. Quick reminder before we do jump onto this week's episode, please keep voting for me for UK's Top Influencer Podcast of the Year. I thought you could only vote once, but my mother-in-law was like, oh, I'm voting every day. And I tried that, and every day I click on it and it says vote been saved. So make sure you're voting every day. You don't need to put your email in or anything like that. You literally just need to press the button and it'll say vote saved. So set an alarm for 7 o'clock every night and do it. That's what I'm going to start doing. I'll be like, right, Taylor, give me your phone. Mum, give me your phone. Dad, give me your phone. Granny, give me your phone. Like, all the phones, get voting. Because I mean, even if I don't win, like just to, you know, be in the room and be around all of these incredible people will be insane. But to win an award for my actual baby, like, there's nothing I love more than doing this podcast. So yeah, that would just be really, really cool. I don't think there's anything else really to update you guys on, especially not since last week. Oh, I do have one thing. It's not really an update, it's just quite fun. So last weekend, Taylor and I went to a market. It's called Tynemouth Market in Newcastle. It's unreal. Like, if you live near Newcastle, you have to go. And one of my favourite jewellery businesses is called Jewels by Jess. And we were just having a look at her jewellery anyway. And then I saw a sign that said she does permanent jewellery. And we've always wanted to get the permanent bracelets. And I just said to the lady just, I was like, oh, do we need to pre-book? Because most of the time to get the permanent jobber, you have to book in advance. And she was like, oh no, like I can just do it now. And we were like, should we get it done? So it was a bit impromptu. So we chose our bracelets. I'll show the visual girlies mine. This is mine. It's like a really nice pattern. It's not just like plain gold. It's got like little, I don't know, like gold circles dotted around. So I got it in gold, Taylor got it in silver, and it was only £40 each, which I've seen them go up to like hundreds of pounds. I guess it depends, like, you know, if you're getting like, I don't really understand it, but it was £40 each, and we literally picked them out and we were done within like 20 minutes. It was so handy. And she's now doing one that's got like green emeralds in, so we might go back this weekend and get them. It's Mother's Day this weekend, so I think we're going to go to the football, Newcastle Women's against London City Lionesses, with my mum and my godmother and her mum, so that'll be really cute. I was like, Dad, do you want to come? And he was like, no, I'll just let you girls go. Even though he does really enjoy the women's football, like he'll always put it on for me if I'm coming home from work, but I've got the women's on. I'm like, yes, brilliant. Obviously Newcastle women had like an unreal weekend this weekend just gone, winning the derby at St James's Park against Sunderland. I'm really gutted I couldn't go, but it looked unreal. But we're going to be there this weekend, so it's all good. I really don't think I've done anything else exciting with my life, guys. So yeah, main updates, just keep voting. I tell you something kind of cool. I'm trying to like level up the socials for the pod. So I've been like working on some like Canva templates and like bought some like different templates and things like that, just so everything looks a bit cooler. So make sure you follow us on Instagram and TikTok at the lesbianlounge.podcast, because I'm making it look really aesthetically pleasing, and like 2 people are liking the post and one of them is my other account. So go and like show some love to my beautiful aesthetic posts on Instagram and TikTok. But yeah, without further ado, I think it's about time that we jump straight on into this week's episode. So this week's question of the week is, what is your biggest woman-loving woman red flag? So let's get into this. I wonder what mine is first. I feel like it's hard for me to like comment on this because I have dated one woman. And I guess like your most common red flag is probably like falling in love really quickly, but that was literally what me and Taylor did and it wasn't a red flag. So let's read your guys' responses and maybe you'll inspire me with what I think is a red flag. Okay, literally starting off, wanting to move in after a week. See, that is me. Like, if I've found that connection with someone, I'm like, why wait? Let's crack on. I'm definitely like a U-Haul lesbian. But I can see how it is a red flag because it's like, we've literally known each other a week. Why do you want to move in and get a cat already? Let's just chillax a little bit. Bi-curious people, or girls who aren't over their ex but act like they are. So bi-curious, is that technically like a straight girl who's like, oh, I think I might be bi, like I want to explore, like let's have sex, and then you have sex and you catch feelings and they're like, oh sorry, I'm straight, I'm going to get back with my ex-boyfriend, and you're like, brilliant. Yeah, that's definitely giving red flag. And then people who act like they aren't over their ex, but who aren't over their ex but act like they are. Yeah, it's tricky, isn't it? Like, again, I'm lucky, touch wood, I've never had this like whole lesbian ex scenario because I've heard some horror stories. But yeah, I just think like you just have to be honest. But I guess you aren't going to get a new girlfriend and say, by the way, I'm not over my ex. Like, they're going to then run far, far away. So yeah, I see it. Ex drama. Yeah, I guess if you know there's all this drama with the ex, are like, well, are you a problem? Like, are you the red flag if you had all of these issues with your ex? It plants them seeds, doesn't it? Rushing things and sticking on labels after like a day. Yeah, I think that's a bit dramatic. Like, I understand like lesbians move quicker and faster than like, you know, your average straight couple, but I do think it's important just to like really get to know a person, because, you know, if you're putting a label on it after a day or even a week, you might not have figured out yet that they're still in love with their ex, they're not over their ex, there's all of these like other red flags hidden away, and maybe that's why they're rushing you in. It's like love bombing, isn't it? That's why they're rushing you into it so quickly, because then, oh, it's like, oh, we've got a house and a cat now, so you can't leave me. even though I'm still in love with my ex. Maybe that's like a clever tactic from toxic lesbians. Close with their ex. It's hard, isn't it? I think, well, I mean, I guess it's the same for like straight heterosexual couples as well as like gay couples. Like, I think you can definitely be friends with an ex. Like, sometimes it's just not meant to be platonic is when it's a friendship relationship. Like, it's not meant to be a romantic relationship, and it is just meant to be a platonic relationship. But I think like there's definitely a line between it, like we are just friends, or we're exes and we're saying we're just friends, but really we still want to get into each other's knickers if we could. I feel like there's definitely a really fine line between that. Long-haired masks. That's oddly specific. I don't mind a long-haired mask. I don't mind a mask with a bun or a long-haired mask. Taylor used to have much longer hair than she does now, and I used to love it when she'd just wear like a tracksuit with like her hair in a high ponytail. I was like, mwah! But she's got like, I don't know, like medium length hair now, and I love it when she wears it in a bun as well. When they've not been with girls in the past or had any contact / experience with a girl before. Okay, so I see how that is a red flag, but also, like, how are these girls ever going to get an experience with a girl if no girls are willing to be their first experience? Like, it's hard to put yourself in that situation, isn't it? Because you don't want to get your heart broken because this girl's like, by the way, I haven't actually been with a girl before. Like, did you do it? And you're like, oh no, red flag, get away. Like, I understand why you think it's a red flag, because it's like, are you just going to turn around and be straight after we've slept together and go back to your boyfriend? But then how are they ever going to get that experience if people aren't like willing to give them the chance? So I see that from both sides. When they have internalized homophobia, I still feel like I deal with a bit of that. It's got so much better since starting the podcast. Like, before I had the podcast, I like hated telling people I had a girlfriend. I just wanted to say partner all the time. Like, I mean, Taylor's not massively a social media person either, so we didn't really post loads on socials. But like, it was, I don't know, I always felt this like weird thing, but I still sometimes get it. Like, it's really random, like when like I've just got the pictures for the unit, they're at Pia, and like mum's looking at them and she's like, it's pretty queer in here, and it just, I don't know, it makes me cringe inside that my mum like knows I'm gay and dating girls. I'm like, oh, it makes me feel funny. And then she was telling me how my godmother said she tried to listen to the podcast, but there was too much talk about fingering, so she turned it off. And I was like, oh my god, like it was like festering inside of me. But I think, unfortunately, because of society, most gay, not even just women, most gay people do have that internalized homophobia, because, you know, we've been told that we're like a minority and we're like worthless and like all of these horrible things. So there's always going to be that like that feeling in there. So I can always see it from both sides. I can see how you're thinking it's a red flag, but also I think we just need to like give people a bit of a break sometimes. But I do see it. Trashing an ex, that's a new one. Yeah, I see it, you know, if you're chatting shit about your ex, like, they were a psycho. I'm like, well, actually, were they a psycho or were you a psycho? Because you haven't stopped talking about them. There we go. When she's overly close with her ex, in a way you can see it's not just friends. Yeah, same as the rest of the exes. I'm not in love with my ex. Yeah, there's a lot of exes. I think that's probably going to be our main red flag, is that is like, you know, something to do with still being in love with the ex, not over the ex, da-di-da-di-da. I fear I'm in constant competition with any other female lesbian, especially girls who are my girlfriend's type / look like her exes. That's so sad. Like, I don't think you need to feel like that. Like, you know, your girlfriend chose you, she loves you, like, she can, you know, appreciate another woman and go, yeah, she's fit, yeah, she's pretty, but like, she isn't going to act on that because she's locked in with you. So don't fear. Emotional unavailability. Yeah, I feel like it's really hard to build a connection with someone if like they're just emotionally unavailable. Exactly that. When they're best friends with their ex, when they're severely a top only. I wouldn't say that's a red flag. Like, I understand some women just don't like receiving, some prefer giving, some don't like giving, some prefer receiving. Like, you know, it's like Chapel's song. Take it like a taker, baby, I'm a giver. Some girl has written like the opposite, like she's written it from the taker's perspective. I haven't listened to the full thing, but I saw a clip on TikTok and I was like, that's pretty cool. Saying I love you on the third date. again, I get it, but I just think that's like, it's just part and parcel of being a lesbian, isn't it? Falling in love really quickly. Like, I literally text Taylor, like, on Snapchat. I think it must have been within the first month, if not few weeks, being like, I think I'm falling in love with you. We had literally text on Snapchat and FaceTimed. And we're still together. So it goes to like, I can see how it can be a red flag, but also it can just be genuine. But yeah, we do move fast as lesbians, don't we? Still lives with their ex. Happened way too many times. Okay, that is where it's a step too far, if they're still living with their ex. I hope it's like a 2-bedroom flat and they're not still sharing a bed with their ex, because that would be insane. If they're friends with their ex, when she keeps making me have to choose between her and my straight best friend. Yeah, that's a different flag. This is a good one. She's just a friend. Yeah. Like, I don't believe you. Honestly, I'm not sure. Fair enough. Hopefully you never come across any lesbian with red flags. Emotional immaturity. I see that. Still obsessed with their ex. Still friends with their ex. The only time I've stayed friends with an ex was when I still had feelings for them. Very true. I feel like why else would you, like, realistically, why else would you want to keep your ex in your life? Because you're clinging on to the hope that they're still going to turn around and tell you that they have feelings for you, or you're going to have the courage to tell that you still have feelings for them. Like, I don't really see many other situations where you would want to keep that person in your life. Not even woman loving woman, just girls kissing girls for male attention. Yeah, I hate that when, like, people, like, is it called queer baiting, or am I completely making that up? When, like, very obviously straight people are, like, you know, kissing girls and being, like, flirty, and it's just like, just leave it to the gays. Like, I can't remember if I spoke about this in the podcast or not, and it's slightly off topic, but I was thinking this about like musicals. When there's a lesbian character, like, why are we not hiring a lesbian to play that part? Because there are thousands, if not more than like tens of thousands, of people going to drama school every year. I can guarantee the large majority of those are gay, or bi, or, you know, whatever. So why are we still... It's the same with, like, casting, like, you know, there's, like, Nessa Rose and Wicked. I think it's either West End or Broadway have only just had a person actually in a wheelchair play that part. It's like, if that character has a disability, hire someone with that disability. Like, if that character is a lesbian, have a lesbian play them. Like, it just baffles me a bit. I know that's a little bit off topic, but I just think, just give the part to, like, a lesbian. Do you know what I mean? I think the whole world should just be lesbians. It'd be much better. Acting flirty over text and not in real life. Yeah, but maybe they just don't know how to flirt in person. Like, maybe they've only, like, dated girls, like, from dating apps, and, like, they're good at flirting, but then when they get in person, they're a bit like, oh my god, it's a really fit and attractive woman. Like, I don't know what to say. Like, I don't think I'm good at flirting. Like, I'd probably be better on text, because you can, like, sit and think of your response for a bit longer, but in person, you just have to come up with it, and it's like, oh, stress. Okay, we've got a few more. Bad communication, 100%. That is, like, if you're not going to respond to my text within 0.5 of a second, fuck off. No, I'm joking. But I think I've told you all the story before. Like, when I was on Tinder, there was a few girls I was speaking to at the same time as Taylor. And I'm not saying the only reason I'm dating Taylor is because she replied to me the quickest. But it's off-putting when you're waiting for a reply for, like, a couple of hours, a couple of days. Like, do you know what I mean? I'm like, I'm bored of waiting for you to reply to me. Like, I've already got to know this other person so much better because they've texted me more, so you're able to build a connection so much quicker. So I feel like bad communication, that's probably my biggest one as well. The stereotypical, moving too fast. Hey mama, lesbians. When they constantly talk about their ex-girlfriend, I've been ghosted 3 times in a year by girls who do this. Yikes. And last one, to finish us off with the same response as pretty much everyone else, they're still friends with their ex. I think maybe that's just what we need to accept as queer women, you know, especially if you're dating or, you know, trying to date. They're probably going to be friends with their ex, or, you know, still somehow be connected to their ex or their ex's friend or something. You know, there's just no way of, like, not having the ex involved in some way. So maybe we just need to all, like, learn to accept that all lesbians are friends with their exes and there's nothing we can do about it. Yeah, that was some good responses. I'm glad, like, a lot of us are, you know, we have that emotional not immaturity, like the emotional maturity to like, acknowledge these red flags and, put barriers in place for us to, not have these red flags affect our lives and date these people. But I know we probably all still do it anyway, because you're like, oh, she's fit, so I don't care if she still lives with her ex. Like, that's so funny. Shall we get into some dilemmas? I think so. We've got some good ones today, so let's kick off. Here we go. It's just loading. Okay, first one. I've recently come out as a lesbian and have just started getting into the female dating scene. Congratulations. However, I'm very scared as I've never done anything with a female, and in a sense I don't know what I'm doing sexually, and now I'm at the point that I'm ready to do it. Do you have any advice? For sure. I know we've just spoke about it like from the red flags perspective of being like, oh, it's a red flag, you've not done anything with the woman before. But I think you do have to be open about that, because, the majority of women, like, I would rather know that, and then, you can be like, we can be like, okay, we can take it easy, like, we can, like, see what you like, talk to me, because you don't want to, like, you don't want to go in there pretending you know all these things that you don't, like, it's okay to not know. Like, I remember texting my friend being like, oh, do you have sex with the girl? Like, I had no idea. And, like, it's scary. So I think you do, whoever, you're going to end up sleeping with, it, you can just be honest and be like, listen, like, I've never actually slept with another girl before. And, if they are one of these, like, oh, that's a red flag people, like, that's not the person you want to be sleeping with anyway. But I think importantly, like, have a figure out what you like yourself. And then when it comes to doing it with another woman, like, you can communicate that, like, oh, I really like this, I'm not a fan of this. And, same with her, you can say to, like, what do you like, let me try, like, that's what you're there for. You're there to try and please each other. Be like, I want to know how I can, like, best please you. So just having that open stream of communication, I think, is so important. And I think just not being scared to, have that talk, like, even before or during or after, be like, was that all right? Did you like it? Then she might go, oh, actually, I really like, we had that person last week who did, was it the cuffing method? And then the lady, like, screamed. Like, that's the last thing you want, do you know what I mean? You want to have that conversation beforehand or during, or even after, and just like, just so we don't have an issue where someone is screaming whilst your fingers are inside of their vagina. I hope that helps. Okay. I have another recently coming out. I'm recently coming out. I'm curious as to if the lesbian dating scene is as stereotypical as what it's made out to be, i.e. moving in after one date, etc. Again, I feel like that question of the week has answered it for you. Unfortunately, I think the answer is yes. But I mean, is that unfortunate? I don't know. I think I would rather, like, find a woman that I'm really into and, be able to, like, start going on dates and, tell her I love her and, not even necessarily like moving into a house, buying a house, but like starting to like stay at each other's houses and stuff. Like, I think that's a beautiful thing that, lesbians are able to fall in love and do that so quickly. But I do definitely, I think it depends who you're getting with. If you're getting with like a seasoned lesbian, probably, but if you're also going to get with someone who's quite new to coming out, you might want to take things a bit slower. But again, I think that communication is so important. Like, if they're asking you to move in after one day, you can be like, listen, like, I don't think I'm ready for that, like, I'm really into you, I want to keep seeing you, like, can we go on a few more dates? Like, just being open and honest, like, and then if that person's not going to like what you've said, then they're not the person for you, because there will be somebody who's on the same wavelength as you and, wants to wait the same amount of time before you, move in and buy a cat and get each other's names tattooed on your ankles or wherever you get names tattooed, do you know what I mean? But I think just have fun with it as well, like, don't put pressure on it. Like, one thing, I don't know if it's a regret or just something I like think about, but like, I never really had like, it was also COVID, but I never really like played the field, I guess. I never got to like, go out to bars or clubs or wherever and like flirt with women and like just like explore a little bit. So enjoy the chance that you have to do that. Like, just meet a woman, see if it works out. Like, you don't have to fall in love and move in with the first woman that you get with. Like, just have a bit of fun, have an explore, because YOLO. Moving on. Seriously struggling with comfort at the moment. Been with my girlfriend 3.5 years, but I can't stop thinking we aren't meant to be together because I'm supposed to be with a man. Ugh, I know that it's gross, and I do really love her, but something in my brain can't fathom both of us being in a wedding dress / not having a child that's biologically ours. Please don't judge. I know it's all in my head, and any advice you've got to get past this would seriously save a girl's life. SOS. So I think the issue with this, it's not to do with you or your brain or your partner or anything. It's to do with society. It's to do with, TV shows, movies, just all things society, because all we've been shown growing up is girls dating boys, girls marrying boys. Like, we haven't been shown, like, queer couples enough. Like, TV shows don't touch on they'll touch on straight couple IVF, but they don't touch on lesbian IVF and surrogacies and things like that. It's not spoke about enough in the sense of being a lesbian or a queer or gay person. So I think, that is to blame, because that's all you've seen probably growing up. Like, so that's why I'm thinking, well, that should be what I have to do, because that's what society's told me to do my whole life. But it's just not everyone likes willies. I fucking hate them. I think men should be banned. Fuck willies. But yeah, it's tricky, isn't it? Especially knowing, like, the baby that you have isn't going to be biologic, like, it's not going to be half and half of you and your partner. But I think there's so many ways around that, like, what's the one you can do where it's their egg put inside of you, so, like, you both feel, like, really connected to it. And I, like, completely understand, like, it's shit that we can't just, have a baby without spending, like, thousands and thousands and thousands of pounds. But you've been with your girlfriend for 3.5 years. Like, clearly you love each other and you're meant to be together. I think just don't let what society's told you have to be get in your head, because being a lesbian is fucking awesome. And imagine having to sleep in bed next to a man every night, like a stinky man, and put his willy in your mouth or up your vagina. Like, yuck. So if that doesn't put you off dating a man, it should. Just picture loads of willies, and then you'll be fine. Just picture lots of willies, and then picture lots of vaginas and boobs, and think, I know which side I want to swing for. I hope that helps, but please don't get in your head and just, I think you're not the problem. It's the world is the problem, because they've told you to believe that you can only marry a man, but don't believe that. Okay. I met a girl in November, and we had been seeing each other seriously since then. Things are going great. I've never been this happy with anyone. It's my first time in a lesbian situationship, so obviously it's all new to me. She broke up with her ex-girlfriend the month before we met. However, her sister is besties with her ex-girlfriend. This is what I mean. Like, no matter how the connection is there is going to be some connection to a girl and her ex. Whether it's that they're still just friends, whether it's that they share a dog, whether it's that their sister's best. Do you know what I mean? Like, there is going to be some connection. And I think that is just something we're going to have to deal with in life. Sorry, carrying on. This is hard for me to cope with, as the ex is still going to her house. Yeah, just awkward. One time, the ex-girlfriend slept in my girl's bed. What? No. She reassured me and told me that there's nothing to worry about, but it still doesn't feel right to me. Okay, were they in bed together, or was she just in your girlfriend's bed? Because if they were in bed together, hell no. Like, I wasn't even comfortable when Taylor was at uni. Like, one of her gay friends, they were going to have, like, share the bed together. I was like, oh, it just makes me a little bit uncomfy. Like, and you're allowed to say things like that make you feel uncomfy. Like, I know Taylor would never do anything, but I'm like, I don't trust other motherfuckers. Do you know what I mean? Sorry, I'm getting distracted. Me and the girl have still been seeing each other for 4 months, and I've made it clear that I want to ask her the question and make it official. Cute. She says she wants to make sure that it's the right time and that she's in the right mindset to be able to treat me right. But is that not an excuse? Sorry, she needs to be in the right mindset to treat you right. What is she on about? You should want to treat me right because you fucking love me, want to be with me forever. You shouldn't want to have to get yourself in a mindset to do that. It's giving red flag. It's giving run far away. I don't know. When do you think it's acceptable for her to make it official? And in your opinion, how long would you have to be seeing each other for before? Also, should I be worried about the ex-girlfriend? I think the ex-girlfriend is the last of our issues here. Like, she's obviously, the fact she slept in the bed is weird, but she's friends with the sister is besties with the ex-girlfriend. I mean, it is a bit weird, but I think the main problem is with the girl that you're with. You do not need to be in the right mindset. Like, how fucking rude. You're like, oh, you're like, I think I'm going to like try and make it official. I want to ask you to be my girlfriend. Oh, well, just wait until I'm in the right mindset. I'm sorry. I think that's genuinely insane. And so, yeah, I mean, if you think she's going to get in that mindset, that's up to you. But I personally think I would be running far, far away, because I'm like, so your ex still comes to your house, she's slept in your bed, and now you're telling me that we can't make it official yet because you're not in the right mindset to like treat me right. That you shouldn't even have to think about treating me right. It should just come naturally to you. Yeah, that's just a bit insane. And I don't think there's any exact time you have to be with someone to make it official. I think, it's when it feels right, and obviously it's feeling right for you, but I think you'd be making a mistake. I think you need to run and find somebody who's going to treat you right, because it just comes naturally to them, not because they have to physically like think about it. That's insane. Oh, this next one's delightful. I mean, I did say nothing is off limits and we're a safe space, and this person's just put, I have gonorrhea. Well, I did say anything goes, so there we go. Somebody has gonorrhea, guys. Well done. Okay, shall we do like one or two more? Sounds good, okay. When I was splitting up with my ex, she had one big line of, I don't think you ever loved me. I think you loved the thought of me. That's deep. After surprising her with a holiday, I'm now going on with my best mate, and now all her mates hate me because I didn't let her go without me. So you booked a holiday, you surprised her with a holiday, and then you broke up, and then you took a friend. I mean, I do think that's fair enough. If you paid, it's your money. So if you didn't want to go with your ex or let her have it, I don't blame you for taking a friend. But that is deep, isn't it? To say, I don't think you ever loved me. I think you loved the thought of me. Wow. I do think that happens a lot, though. I think people enjoy the thought of being in love and being someone's girlfriend, but is it actually the right relationship for you to be in? I mean, I can't say because I didn't know you guys, but I definitely think like it happens more often than we maybe think it does. I think people do, just get in love with the idea of being in love and being in a relationship, that they don't realise that the person is not actually who they're in love with. Crazy chickens. Should we do one more? Okay, go on then. How do you know what your type is if you're a newbie? I think you just got to explore it. Like, I mean, I would, get on like Woman Loving Woman TikTok, like search the hashtag. Are you more attracted to like the more feminine looking woman or the more masculine looking? Can't speak. The more feminine looking woman or the more masculine looking woman? Like, what tickles your fancy more? Do you like girls with, high heels on, skirts, dresses, loads of makeup, long nails, like hair always done? Or do you prefer, the more like tomboy looking, like dressing more masculine, like, I guess a bit more like casual looking, like they don't have their nails done, like they don't tend to wear as much makeup? Like, I feel like that's a good place to start, because I'd say they're the two main like types of lesbians, but you have so much more than that. So once if you prefer the more feminine, the more masculine, just explore. Do you know what I mean? Like, don't put pressure on yourself to even have a type. Like, just sleep with, get with whoever you are attracted to. It doesn't matter, like, what they look like, really, what, if they're femme, mask, stem, butch, whatever other, I was going to say breeds, whatever other breeds of lesbian there are, you know what I mean? But yeah, just explore, like, get to know people for them and who they are, like, I think that's so important. Like, just because they're like a really fit mask doesn't mean that you're the right match for them. Like, they might treat you like shit, and you just might not have that like emotional connection, but you might have that so much more with somebody who's, is STEM, like a bit more in between. think so. Like, you know, you might have more of a connection with someone who's more STEM. Like, you don't know. Like, and you can't judge a person just because of how they look and be like, oh, well, you're a femme, so I'm not going to get to know you. Like, you never know, you might really connect and really end up working out. So I think just, you know, have an explore, like, get on Tinder, like, chat with some women, like, have a swipe, like, just see who tickles your fancy. Like, I think that's the best way to do it. Like, just go on Tinder and be like, okay, you're fit. Okay, I'm not as attracted to you. And then I feel like naturally, by process of elimination, you're going to see if it's more masculine woman, more feminine woman. Maybe you literally don't care and you like all breeds of lesbian. But just, you know, there's nothing wrong with just having an explore. Like we've said before, like, you don't need to fall in love with the first woman that you sleep with and, you know, move in and buy a cat together straight away. Like, just enjoy the, like, not the chase, but enjoy the, like, the journey. I think that's what I'm looking for. Enjoy the journey of, you know, getting to know women and, like, finding out what your type is and just, like, exploring the lesbian dating scene. So, yeah, I think that's quite a nice place to wrap up this week's episode. Thank you all so much for listening. If you've been watching on YouTube, make sure to subscribe, like, give us a comment. If you've been listening on Apple or Spotify or anywhere else, please give us a 5-star review. I'd be so grateful. Guys, I actually cried the other day because on Spotify, we're now rated 4.5. So someone's obviously not given us a 5-star review and I cried. And then I was like, okay, it's actually not that deep. But then I was like, I just think if I'm going to review something, I'll give it 5 stars or I'll just not bother reviewing unless it's like seriously shit. But I did have a cry. So if you're the person who gave me not a 5-star review, you made me cry. I hope you feel bad about yourself. Yeah, please give me a 5-star review. Don't forget to vote to us for Podcast of the Year over at UK Stop Influencer. It'll all be linked in the description. Send me over your dilemmas, your stories, your questions. Like I said, literally nothing is off limits. We had fucking gonorrhea topics today. Do you know what I mean? Like, send it in. I will answer it. I'll give you some advice or just share your story. Because I know sometimes, you know, unfortunately, you don't have friends to share these stories to. So wear your safe space to do that and come and just be your true, authentic selves. Thank you all so much for listening. Don't forget to follow us at the lesbianlounge.podcast and come over to Juliet Francis T on Instagram and TikTok and you can join the Lesbian Lounge Insiders group chat. And I will speak to you all next Thursday, hopefully, fingers crossed, with some incredible audio quality. I love you all so much and I'll speak to you all next week. Bye!